Hey, how are you doing, everybody? So it's great to see you as usual. Today, I want to talk about a topic that is becoming increasingly critical, right? I want to talk about carbon footprint assessment for businesses worldwide. So you would have heard about it already, right? So if not, you are at the right place. And if your company is serious about sustainability and transparency, then I believe understanding how to manage your carbon footprint should be at the top of your agenda, especially as we're wrapping up 2024 and we're moving closer to 2025. And I believe in 2025, the expectation of climate accountability is going to be even higher. So if you don't want to jump and lead from the front, you're going to be forced to do it anyway. So you may as well, like I say, just sit down, understand what carbon footprint assessment is, and like I say, lead from the front. So be part of people that are actually making and shaping this game. Is that okay? So let's take a look at that closer, right? Hello. How are you doing? My name is Tony Tio. I am the founder here of Renewables in Africa. So if you see me for the first time, so what we do, very simple. We raise awareness about renewables energy in Africa, but also across the globe. If you are a project developer, if you are an EPC company, if you're an investor or supplier, you say, hey, I want to tap into the African market, I want to expand there, you are at the right place, and I want to help you. And I believe, because I've talked to so many of those people and I've worked with them as well before. So there's two questions usually they come into their mind. Number one is, how could they reduce their business development costs? Because it's fair to say, expanding to the continent, it's a lot of money, right? So, and at time as well, you spend that much money and you're not getting the return, the result, your outcome that you're looking for, right? And it's very frustrating. I understand that. And it's so frustrating that sometimes people would decide to leave the continent. I don't want it to happen for you, right? I want it to be good. And the second question is, how can we fast track access to customer? Everybody want to solve this problem, right? And that's normal because the faster you solve it, the closer you are to success, right? So the excellent news that I want to share with you today is we have an awareness package, right? A program that actually solve it for you. So, and there's three distinctive things that you're going to get from this program. Number one, what you get? More visibility, but to who? To the people that matter to you, you customer, people that will buy your product, buy your service, participate in your program, right? You'll get more visibility to them. And as you get more visibility to them, guess what you're going to get as well? Qualified lead. When you get a qualified lead, you're closer to the sales. So I want to show you how I've done it for people like Alfonso from AFF Wind, or Ruben from Numeris, and many others. I want to show you how I can use the exact same formula I've done with them to replicate that for you and to make sure that you also could become a success in your expansion into Africa. As simple as that. So book a 15-minute call. Let me talk to you about that. And you can decide, hey, this is for me or this is not for me, right? But what I would hate for you to do is just to go and do it by yourself, be frustrated, and not getting the result that you want and leave the continent because at the end of the day, you losing and we're losing. I don't want it to happen. Yeah. Excellent. So as I'm talking about carbon footprint, so this week, so as a team, what we're gonna do, the reason that I'm talking to you about that, I just so you can understand, is simply because we're wrapping up this week a carbon footprint assessment for one of our clients, which is called Watu. They're in Uganda. So what they do, they are financing two-wheelers and three-wheelers, those motorbikes, right? You call it borders in Uganda, but also in Kenya they do that, and in Tanzania and other places, right? But we're looking first of all at the obviously branch in Uganda. So we're wrapping up this assessment for them. Obviously, I can't share the result for obvious reasons, but what I can tell you is actually they are very incredibly insightful. Yeah. And they highlight already a number of points that the business believes they can act upon to become even more efficient and effective, right? And that is the process that we're going through, and that could be done for any other organization. I think, as I've talked to you about that, I know I've shared already some couple of pictures in the past, but let me sort of refresh your mind so that you can see what I'm talking about here. Yeah. So we went there with my colleague and I, so Brian. We went there in October. It was great. So we had a chance to visit some of the branches. So you can see a picture here. That's Makerere. That's one of the busiest branch. So we went there. You can see lots of motorbike there, right? So like I say, those guys, they don't own those motorbike. They own it if you want up until you fully pay the motorbike, as a customer, because what they do, they're financing a solution company, right? So they giving you loans for you to acquire those motorbike. You can use that, then do some work and pay that over time, right? So that's what they do. So we visited one of the branches there, as you could see. It was very insightful, very interesting. Had a chance to talk to some of the branch managers. That's one of them here, which is called Alan, a very, very fine gentleman. And actually the market rate that I've shown here is one of the main branch that obviously would accommodate a lot of the e-bikes, because what they're doing is to turn a number of their fleet into e-bikes, right? They want to reach up onto 40% of bike that they're financing that are e-bikes. And for reason you could also understand that's part of the way for them to reduce the carbon footprint. Yeah, so that's what we were doing. This has been great. And those are an example of those e-bikes that you see there that's parked there. That's at that storage facility that is selling to customers. And yeah, so the whole idea about the exercise, it wasn't just the e-bikes that we had to account for, but anything that obviously will release, any activity that will release CO2. We need to understand what it is. We need to account for that and obviously come up with a figure where the company say we use it as a baseline. Yeah. And after the visit that we had was on the first day, the second day was more having a workshop. So driving to what is the process about? So how did we do? What the methodology that we follow? So connect with the full team, because what we had there was the management team for the local branch was in Uganda. So around the table, so we will actually explain to them, go to them, explain to them what the methodology is so that they can get involved, can get input. Very interesting. You can see that here. So that's Yefkin here, one of the ESG leads for the group, who also was there, obviously. So was taking a picture here, and it was a great day. So that's just a reminder of what the trip was, and just showcase to you what I believe could also happen for you. Because I think carbon footprint assessment for me, if you're really serious about sustainability, you can't miss that step, right? So that's very important. But as I'm talking to you about that, so maybe I want to go back to the basics, understanding. So why does a carbon footprint assessment matter for your business? Because I know when you're looking at me, you say, hey, Tony, I like what you're saying, but at the end of the day, explain that to me, spill the bills for me. Yeah. So what is important? So understanding your environmental impact, it's very important. Because the carbon footprint assessment, what it does is quantifies your greenhouse gas emissions across your operation. And it's not just about compliance, right? We need to be clear about that. It's about you understanding the areas, where your business has the most significant environmental impact. And when you understand that, then you can act. But it's also important for all the different stakeholders that you have in a company. I'm talking about here the customers, the investors, the employees. They all have different expectations, and they are demanding more transparencies from companies. And if they know that your carbon footprint shows that you are taking sustainability seriously, I'm sure they respond a lot better to any initiative that you're sharing, right? And it will build trust with those key stakeholders, and it'll take you a lot more seriously. So that's one of the reasons I believe is very important. But it's also important because you shouldn't be ignoring, as I said, the regulation. Because I say the regulation is coming, guys. You gotta know that. I think I'm insisting so much on that, because people gotta know. Because at times when I speak to some company, they tell me, "Hey, Tony, that's for other people. I'm not that big. They have to worry about that. That's in Europe and blah blah blah." No, listen, guys. It's either you are fortunate enough to be a big company. Congratulations, great, you're doing a great job. But if you're a big company, obviously you're gonna be the target of those regulations, of those changes that you see in laws, right? Definitely will apply to you, and you will be required to take a certain number of measures. If you're not that fortunate, right, you're an SME, guess what? There's a good chance you end up in the SME of those big groups. In fact, that's actually even what most of us are looking for, right? So have big clients, because big clients, I mean big contract, have some sort of securities. So in terms of visibility for the business, but it comes with a set of requirements, right? And one of those requirements, they are required, because if you end up in what we call their scope 3, which is obviously the emission that the company does not control, the indirect emission, but they still want to influence it to make sure they bring it down, they will be pushing down to you to make sure that you also have to take into account certain measures to reduce your carbon footprint. Because when you reduce your carbon footprint, they reduce the carbon footprint. That's what I'm saying. For that regulation, you gotta know it's coming. So, it's time to now. globally, and with framework like the EU taxonomy, the ISSB standard, carbon footprint, it ensures that your business stays ahead of the curve. That's what I'm saying. It is coming, guys. It's close. The more years passing, you could see, for example, no matter how good or bad people think of COP, but you could see that from this standpoint, we're not looking to sort of reverse things back, right? It's just moving further and further. Okay, doesn't it? And people even say that it doesn't move fast enough. You see, that's just to say there's clearly a direction of travel. So you may actually now get ahead of the curve and be part of the people that will shape the industry. That's what I'm saying. That's what I want to share that with you, right? And there's clearly some business opportunity that one has to also recognize in it. Yeah. So, and I want to share that with you. It's not just sort of stick. There's also some carrots, right? Because beyond the compliance, understanding your carbon footprint, it will lead you to cost savings and innovation. For example, you identifying energy efficiencies or supply chain emission, that can open up opportunity to streamline your operations. Yeah, this is something that you gotta welcome. So yeah, I'm hoping that it's sort of a makes sense for you, and then you be excited to get it done. And I know a number of you, I think I referred to that slightly at the beginning, that maybe required to do some, sustainability reports. Yeah. So there is an important role for carbon footprint data in your sustainability reporting. Absolutely. Because your data would tell a story. Yeah. The sustainability reports for me, they are as credible as the data behind them. So when you have a carbon footprint assessment, it provides you with measurable, with concrete figures that will add some depth and also validity to your report. Absolutely. Again, I take the kind of Watu. I think they've already done one sustainability report, but not yet the carbon footprint. So the fact that they've done the carbon footprint now is strengthened the next report that they're going to get. And now they have, let's say, a much better vision as to where they're going, and they can now back up target that they've been taking before. Yeah. And talking about target, the carbon footprint assessment, it will help you a lot to set and achieve goals. Because we usually say there's not possible for you to, manage what you can measure. So you want to measure that first, and the carbon footprint will help company to set as well realistic emission reduction target. And not only setting that up, but also tracking the progress, over time, because where you're starting from. You can measure that. And that is crucial if you want to show that you align with initiative like science-based target and achieve net zero ambitions. Yeah. So that is very important. And as I say, so while you're doing it, you build stakeholder confidence. You have investors, you have partners. So that they are increasingly looking for transparency emission reporting, because the number of companies they will obviously slap into the hands because accused of greenwashing, stating things publicly but not doing the work in the background. You don't want it to happen, because that can certainly affect your reputation, right? You don't want it. You want to reduce that. And with accurate carbon data, you're actually better positioned to attract funding, partnership, and stay competitive, in the market. So that is very important. And I'm talking to you about that because, as I say, so we're wrapping up 2024. We go into 2025. It has to be a year of action for you. That's what I would say, yeah? It has to be a time for you to act, I like you to use, next year to measure your baseline emission. If you haven't done it yet, you could have a head start and have meaningful goals and strategies for 2025 and beyond, yeah? And you can use 2024 as your baseline if you haven't done it yet, or maybe before, if you were fortunate enough to already start taking some measurement, like, for example, what you've done, yeah? You got to do that because, as I say, you are going to get competitive advantage. I can promise that to you, because if you act now, you'll be in a position, to be a leader in sustainability. And early adopters, they often gain the trust of investors and customers, while those obviously that delay, they risk falling behind. Yeah. And with the risk of delay, non-compliance, reputational damage, missed market opportunities, those are real risk for you as a business. And I don't know, obviously, if this is something that you want to that you want to have for your business. I don't think you want to have it. So if you fail to address carbon footprint in time, that's where you may end up. I don't want it to, but happen for you. So yeah, So the work that we've done with Watu in Uganda, it clearly shows for us to know how transformative this process can be. And why I can't share the specifics, as I say, the insight that we've gathered, I believe will undoubtedly shape the sustainability strategy moving forward. And it's a perfect example of why acting now is so important. So yeah, so I think hopefully I've made a very strong case for sustainability, not only sustainability but carbon footprint assessment more specifically. So I've told you, what it would do for your business, understanding the impact, building trust, position yourself as a sustainable future. If you look at the work done with Watu, insight were invaluable, and any company could be looking at creating this meaningful change for themselves. So if you're interested, in starting this journey, I want to talk to you. Definitely. If you're talking about setting up a baseline, preparing for sustainability reporting, or maybe aligning with global standards, I want to help you to navigate the process. So reach out to me today. Reach out to me. I'll drop, obviously, the link to book a meeting with me so that we can discuss how we can support your business preparing for 2025 and beyond. Because I really want to help you to drive change and create a more sustainable future. Yeah. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. We're here for that. I know a lot of people hesitate. Even if you just want to have a conversation on it, reach out to me. I'll be delighted to see you. So thank you for watching. So hoping to hear from you and your thought in the comments. Yeah. I know you're gearing up for Christmas, so hope you have a great time there. So you take time to rest as well and think about what I say. So be part of the leader that shape and make this future that we're all going through. Yeah, excellent. So don't forget to like the video if you find it interesting, insightful. So leave some comments. I appreciate it. More and more of you are actually sharing a video. That's fine. And then so I see you tomorrow for One Day, One Transparent Idea. Take care, guys, and Merry Christmas as it's coming soon. Take care. Bye-bye.